Diddy really screwed up, and I'm not referring to his criminal trial, which has him sitting in prison right now, but it has to do with something that happened right before he got arrested. If you've seen the Netflix documentary about Diddy, Diddy The Reckoning, which 50 Cent produced, there's some footage there that had never been seen before. This is a photographer that Diddy hired to follow him around and document his life. That footage ended up going to 50 Cent.
And maybe that's what Snoop went through. I don't know. But let the people know, because it was too early back then. You know, Pac just had died.
So this one night, 50 called me up, and you know they got him on the phone. Me and him was just talking. We was talking about old time shit. You know, sit down with Black Hands, sit down with with Puff Kids, the whole Puff situation, and this documentary that he's going.
Just as the attention started fading, a new wave of viral clips and online commentary pushed the story back into the spotlight once again. This time, the focus unexpectedly shifted toward Snoop Dogg after his social media posts triggered bold headlines suggesting he was under pressure or being quietly shielded. Some commentators went further, questioning what certain deals really meant, what 50 Cent's project chose to reveal or leave out, and how Snoop publicly responded to the situation. With all that noise flying around, it became necessary to slow things down and separate what's real from what's just internet speculation.
Pick up this audio from Suge Knight. It's from his podcast with Dave Mays, and he's speaking on, you know, Tupac and Snoop being cool, and how, you know, after Tupac got killed, Snoop started hanging out with Diddy. And, you know, he also speaks on how, you know, Snoop, he did the Steve Harvey show with Diddy after Tupac got killed. Check this out.
Okay. It's downloading right now.
Then you look at the scenario how everybody used Pac to make their stuff famous or make their project better. You got people who use their songs for Pac and tell them how much they love Pac, but they do songs for Puffy. You got Steve Harvey, a whole bit that, you know, this motherfucker telling, well, Pac, according to everybody else, he brings Snoop and Puffy on there and say, these the dudes who's running this in the East Coast, West Coast.
What's up, Snoop?
What's up, huh? Hey, whoa, wait a minute, fellas here, hold on. You know, I know all about this East Coast, West Coast rivalry thing here, but we in Chicago now. This rivalry stuff, we gotta stop it, man. We stop that, we stop a lot of this violence.
Yo, Steve, check this, man. All that East Coast, West Coast stuff is a bunch of media hype. It's been my dog from day one, you know what I'm saying? It's all good between me and him. That's my people.
Real, that's what we came in for. We came in and light it up and ride it up. We never used to air.
Now, Pac, if you love Pac so much, how you with the motherfucker that everybody say got something to do with the first get down that happened to Pac in New York, then the second one.
What you think about Suge comments? And I never asked you this before, but did you have an issue with Snoop hanging out with Diddy after Tupac got killed?
I always felt that was wrong. I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm talking about from that, like now, okay, you know what I mean? I'm 46, Snoop probably early 50s. If he figured out now, he might go by the opinion like, okay, Puffy had nothing to do with Pac. You know, we grown now. If he want to be his friend, no problem. But back then, that was just awkward. You know what I mean? And the reason why it was awkward to me that I never even like it because you knew how Pac felt about this individual. You know what I mean? Even if you don't agree with him, you probably could have said, you know what, I probably ain't gonna come out, you know, publicly with this because until things clear up. So I really know I could be certain that, you know, they didn't have nothing to do with Pac. But it's like, it was no, you know, okay, it is what it is. So that I never really respected that back then.
So you had an issue with it. You didn't like it.
Never really liked it. It just was a strange look because you was Pac boy. You know what I mean? Puffy, you know, it's clear they had some issues with Pac. And Pac died and all of a sudden you chilling with Puffy. Back then it just, okay, now you can say what you want. You all grandfathers, I guess. You know what I mean? That's different now. But back then I think it was weird, it was tasteless. You know what I mean? It didn't seem like you really had that much love for Pac. You could have just, you know what I mean? Unless he pressured them or like questioned Puffy, like, yo, what's up with this? What's up with that? Then you could say, you know what I mean? No problem.
Here's what's actually confirmed. Snoop Dogg's name never appeared in official court records. He was not listed in any formal filings and was never mentioned in the federal case that led to Diddy's conviction. The sudden online linking didn't come from legal evidence, but from past industry connections and long-standing ties that people quickly ran with. Snoop has been part of hip-hop for decades, crossing paths with Diddy and plenty of other major figures during some of the genre's most intense eras. After the documentary dropped, a former security figure connected to Diddy started popping up in interviews and reaction videos, hinting that certain details didn't make the final cut and suggesting some people felt uncomfortable about what was left out. That hint alone sent the internet into overdrive. Commentary channels jumped on the idea, claiming key footage was held back because Snoop is famous, highly visible, and connected across both coasts of the industry. Attention shifted fast, old clips resurfaced, and past interview segments involving Suge Knight were dragged back into the mix, adding more noise to an already messy situation.
Like I believe somebody mentioned that they seen a video with me and the dude Prodigy, or one of the dudes from Deep, as if I was with. They don't know the backdrop of that. I went to his hotel room ready to fight. Like, bro, I'll fight everybody in that room one-on-one. Even if I lose, it doesn't matter. The Outlaws was with me. My homie Tiny, the Mexican homie, was with me. I didn't go there and say, let me get in a video with these guys. I went there knocking on their door. Doom, doom, doom. Tell them dudes to come out. What's up with y'all? What's up with you and Pop? You got a problem with Pop? Because we could just fight like man to man, face to face, and then shake hands. That was my approach with them. But when they told me they didn't have no problem, I don't mind being with you. You know what I mean? I don't mind shaking your hand because they told me they had love for Pop. So that's different. You know what I mean? If he come out and say, well, I already, I questioned Puffy about it. I believe that he didn't, he loved Pop. That's my opinion. I can move the way I want to move. So when people try to, I noticed somebody, I think on your page do that. Well, Napoleon was in the video with Mobb Deep. They don't know how I got in that video with Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? I pulled up on him but I'm the type of person, I never been a bully type of person. You know what I mean? If I talk to a person like a man and they tell me face to face, look, I got love for Pop, I'm comfortable to know if I can look in their eyes and if I believe what they said, I have the right to say, okay, no problem, I believe you. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what Snoop went through. I don't know. But let the people know, because it was too early back then. Pop just had died. You know what I mean? Like, he had the right to say, the reason why I'm rolling with Puffy, I questioned him about my homie. He gave me this answer. So then he did what he had to do. But it just, you know what I mean? I never really agree with that, to be honest. The same way I couldn't be on the stage with him. When they wanted to do that tribute, I just couldn't do it. Like, I really felt in my heart like, man, I can't believe this.
This is where things get risky. When personal connections start getting treated like hard proof, facts fall back and suspicion takes the wheel. The loudest claims aren't always the most reliable. Sean Combs. The reckoning was never framed as a full-on attack on the music industry. The focus stayed locked on Diddy, tracing his rise through Bad Boy Records, the influence he built, and the systems that let his power grow unchecked for years. The documentary stayed focused on first-hand accounts and closely examined repeated patterns of control and misuse of influence. At no point did it accuse Snoop Dogg of any criminal involvement, and it offered no visuals or verified material tying him to illegal activity. Claims that 50 Cent deliberately shielded Snoop have never been proven and remain internet talk, not fact. Curtis Jackson addressed this head-on, stating that the project only included information that could be verified and cleared by his legal team.
Doing a documentary, thinking he was going to come out triumphant.
See, I didn't know that's how this started. Is he started filming himself and getting this footage because he thought he was going to beat everything. Okay,
Diddy
that makes sense. Okay,
has a relationship
with Netflix. I knew that
with
Ted Sarandis. I saw that. Yes. Okay.
And he's filming it there, but of course, when you get, obviously it wasn't a clean sweep on the prosecutor's side, but you're still going to prison.
Yeah.
He basically kind of scraps it. It's not also Netflix is saying, because they commissioned it, right? Netflix is saying, all right, cool, just turn over what you got, and what we'll do, we'll make it what it is, because we're just following reality. Diddy's like, well, hold on now. If I lost the case, I'm down to still do it with you, but I got to be able to control it. Now, Diddy was probably going to kind of shape this doc to make it look like, hey, this was malicious prosecution. They kind of went really hard at me. Mm-hmm. I'm not a perfect guy, but I am a good guy.
Yeah.
And Diddy was like, I need to be able to craft it. And Netflix was like, no, you're not. And he's like,
well, my question is, did he sign the footage over to Netflix so they own it? Like, how were they able to do this without his?
No, but he didn't pay for it. So essentially, they're calling it a payment error. So essentially, the deal falls apart, or he's like, yeah, we're not going to do
So
this.
awkward.
And the
Oh my
people who
gosh.
did the work that have all this footage, they're like, so wait, you told us to film because this is going to be on Netflix. Now you're saying Netflix doesn't exist and we're not getting paid because Diddy was going to pay with Netflix money. And Netflix realized this and they went to the filmers and said, hey, give us the footage.
If anything, the documentary moved carefully at a time when shock value accusations usually grab the most attention. It avoided naming individuals unless their roles were backed by documentation or credible testimony, which is exactly why rumors about hidden or unreleased footage don't hold weight. No authenticated videos have surfaced. No legal records mention Snoop Dogg, and no official investigators have identified him as someone under review. On top of that, Snoop publicly showed support for 50 Cent after the release, sharing messages backing Curtis Jackson and making it clear there was no tension between them. That open support directly undercuts the idea that Snoop was nervous about what might come out. Public backing rarely comes from fear. One of the most repeated claims floating online traces back to statements from Courtney Burgess, who said he possessed flash drives believed to be connected to Kim Porter. He alleged those devices contained sensitive media involving well-known figures, and from there, commentators started filling in names on their own. Snoop Dogg kept getting pulled into the mix, even though most of the talk skipped over some very important context.
Look at this through the prism of a modern-day rhetorical genius. A modern-day rhetorical genius. We're talking about the one, the great, the 50 Cent. All right. This guy's skill at rhetoric is absolutely next level. And this totally ties in with, how he famously is a big fan of Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Now, rhetoric with a capital R, I can just give you the definition of that. That's basically public speech, particularly public speech that is to persuade. Any persuasive public speech is rhetoric, right? Now, we kind of break that down into two subcategories of rhetoric with a lowercase r and dialectic. Rhetoric is essentially everything else, and really what moves the needle with like 97% of people and 100% of groups, okay, is in fact rhetoric with the lowercase r. So again, stuff like this, 50 Cent is an absolute master of. Basically, he dropped this doc, this 50, this Sean Puffy Combs doc, and it's just kind of set the internet on fire. It's beating out Stranger Things. Like, it's a wild ride to watch, right? And one of the things that he does is he breaks down Diddy's character on Diddy's own terms.
Here's what usually gets left out. Kim Porter's children publicly rejected any claims tied to alleged writings or materials connected to their mother. Federal agencies have never verified the contents of those flash drives, and they have not confirmed their relevance in any formal legal setting. Being shown unverified material does not automatically make someone guilty, no matter how loud the internet gets. This is how false narratives take shape. A suggestion turns into a rumor. The rumor becomes a headline, and the headline hardens into belief. No authenticated record named Snoop Dogg, and no confirmed media has ever been released. Courts deal in evidence, confirmation, and credibility. Online commentary doesn't. That gap is where reputations take hits without due process. Claims that Snoop is acting out of fear ignore every step that actually matters. There's no public questioning, no investigation, and no legal action tied to his name as of 2025. Nothing official connects him to these allegations. Suge Knight has made accusations about Snoop Dogg for years, accusing him of disloyalty and trying to link him to serious events surrounding Tupac Shakur's passing. These statements tend to resurface whenever the music industry comes under renewed scrutiny, but they are not new and have never been backed by verified evidence. Knight has shared these claims while incarcerated, often through interviews that gain traction mainly because of their provocative tone. Snoop Dogg has consistently pushed back on these claims, calling them false and driven by long-standing rivalry and personal bitterness. More importantly, official investigations connected to Tupac Shakur's case have never resulted in charges, questioning, or legal action involving Snoop, a detail that often gets ignored online.
Because he wanted them to, both Suge and Pac,
In the car?
they only Pac, and they don't Suge. So allegedly, they got paid $500,000. The $500,000 was paid to the guy on the right, all the way to the right. You see the guy on the right?
Corey.
He's the one allegedly that got the $500,000. And that money never went to Keefe or anybody else. The guy on the left is the one that stole the chain, the chain, which was a Death Row Records chain. That's a way of saying I got your rapper's chain. Because if you were one of the guys, Death Row. So long story short, this whole thing is in recording that he said this. So what does Diddy do? Rob, can you pull up this song? It's a song called Black Rob, featuring Mark Curry and Mario Winans. If you can just type in lyrics, okay? So he gets $1 million. Can you go to the lyrics? And Diddy's in the lyrics when he gets started. Go a little bit lower. Can you type in the word in there, Rob? Nice guy. Type Control F, nice guy. Okay, right there. Look at it's 1999. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Been nice too long. I'm just gonna start making y'all blank disappear. Man, first I'm gonna take your records off the radio. Then I'm gonna erase your social security number. Take your birth certificate out flies. I'm gonna do your whole effing family. Ain't nothing but mercy. And then, by the way, in the lyrics, he says, I'll drop $1 million on your head to erase you. Can you type in, I'll drop $1 million, just put Control F. Just go to Google and type this out. I'll drop $1 million on your head. I'll drop $1 million on your head and just put Diddy next to it. Right there. See, it says Black Rob. What song came up?
Right.
I'll drop $1 million on your head. Erase you and your whole family, biatch.
Wow.
He's saying it in the song on what he did to get rid of Tupac.
What an idiot.
Online discussions frequently confuse repetition with proof. When a claim is repeated enough times, it can start to feel credible even without solid backing. And many commentators rely on that shortcut. What usually disappears is context. Suge Knight and Snoop Dogg's relationship broke down decades ago following business disputes, personal conflicts, and very public feuds that are well documented. Statements made in that kind of hostile environment should be examined carefully, not accepted at face value. Repeating old accusations today doesn't make them any more reliable. All this really does is amplify the noise around certain names. One of the most repeated claims suggested that Snoop Dogg suddenly went quiet after the documentary dropped. But that idea falls apart with even a quick look. Snoop stayed active online, sharing updates about music, business moves, and publicly showing support for 50 Cent. The idea that he disappeared came from selective attention, not facts. When people lock into a storyline, they often ignore anything that challenges it. Snoop didn't post panic statements, shut down his platforms, or step away from public view. He kept running his ventures, including his work overseeing his longtime record label and business interests.
Just got out the gym, doing my workout box. Suge, you right. History would repeat itself. Nigga, you wasn't the only nigga in the room, nigga. You wasn't by yourself. There was other people in the room too. I'm not gonna say no names because, like you said, we don't talk. So why you on here talking? Let that go, man. And as far as Snoop and Corrupt writing my album, you ask them niggas that. Them niggas ain't wrote my album. Corrupt helped me with Do You See? Snoop helped me with This DJ. Other than that, everything else I wrote. So that's where you wrong at again. And as far as the tough guy, do you recall when we was at the World Club and it said Death Row and NWA? Who fired on that? Me. When you was at the Comedy Store, fighting that little buff ass at the Comedy Store, who saved your motherfucking ass? Me and C-Style. So what have I done to you? For you to launch out at me? Look, don't get mad at me, man. I ain't never done nothing to you. I wasn't signed to you. So
silence can be intentional sometimes, but in this case, there was no silence at all. There was simply a choice not to engage with unverified rumors. The real difference between Snoop Dogg and Diddy right now isn't fame, it's evidence. Diddy's conviction followed years of investigations, testimony, and legal scrutiny. Snoop's situation, by contrast, is built entirely on speculation and loose connections. As of December 2025, federal records show no charges, no indictments, and no ongoing investigations tied to Snoop Dogg. That distinction matters, especially in a moment when so many high-profile figures are under the microscope. Silence from authorities doesn't mean protection. It means there's no proof. The music industry is clearly being shaken, but not everyone caught in the chaos is guilty. Blurring rumors with facts only damages the truth when it matters most. Right now, Snoop Dogg is stuck in the middle of one of the internet's favorite habits, turning uncertainty into accusation, old conflicts into so-called proof, and speculation into fear. Strip away the loud headlines and reaction videos, and the reality stays simple. There's no verified footage, there are no charges, he didn't disappear. The real story isn't about Snoop panicking, it's about how fast narratives form. When a major figure falls and everyone nearby gets treated like a suspect by association. As fallout from Diddy's case continues and more details surface, the real question isn't who the internet wants to target next. The real question is whether facts will finally outweigh rumors, or if speculation will keep handing out guilt before the truth even gets a chance. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.